All right, folks, after the break, Gamescom opening night live and what I've been playing. Welcome to Prof and Dev Play Games. All right, folks, welcome to episode 443 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry. I am a professor, and I am alone tonight. Last week, I was gone at a Foo Fighters concert, and this week, Anthony is gone on vacation. It's been a summer of vacation, so it's been a couple of weeks since we've been here talking video games. This week, going to start with Gamescom Opening Night Live. That is coming up on Tuesday, so the day after this is published, and a lot of stuff has been announced already, or at least Jeff Keighley's out there setting expectations, which is great. Dagger to my heart. One of the expectations is that Silksong will not be there. Hollow Knight Silksong will not be at Gamescom. Jeff Keighley says the game is still cooking, which is true. It's a dagger because I love that. I love Hollow Knight. I really want to play Silksong. But also, Silksong was my number one draft on Fantasy Critic this year. And a couple of weeks ago, Anthony decided to counterpick it because he assumed, probably rightly so, that it is not coming out this year. So, Silksong, if it does not come out this year, will net him a 0 for his counterpick and will give me a 0 and lock me into Hollow Knight Silksong when I could have exchanged it. This is the second year in a row, in fact, that I have drafted Silksong as number one. Breaking my heart. However, Team Cherry should take as much time as they need to get that game right. I know that when Hollow Knight was released, it was pushing up, I believe, against the end of their budget, and they just needed to get it out. And then they fixed a few things post-launch through DLC or updates or patches or whatever. Here, with maybe no time limit, no deadline, no issues with budget, although everyone has issues with money on some level. Maybe there's scope creep. Maybe things are happening that are causing this game to take longer in the oven. Whatever. It's all good. It'll come out when it comes out, and I will be happy to play it when it does. But my fantasy critic this year is being wounded, being shivved a little bit by Silksong, but that's okay. And the grand scheme of things, that is small potatoes. Dev health is number one, and getting the game right, number two. So that's all right. But Keighley's out there setting expectations for Gamescom, which is good. We want to know before the fervor gets up. He does a good job of setting expectations for his presentations, the Game Awards, Summer Game Fest, etc. I always think of Keighley's events sort of as AA full. There's certainly some AAA stuff there, and I'll name some of that stuff soon, but I never get too excited. I think the only one that kind of bucks that trend is the Game Awards. There are usually some pretty big reveals with pretty big trailers there. But for Gamescom Opening Night Live, he has let everyone know that there will be Batman Arkham Shadow, which is from Rocksteady, and I think it's a VR experience for Oculus or whatever it's called now. MetaQuest. There will be a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 trailer of some kind, probably letting people know about the beta or the demo or something that's coming out. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Dune Awakening, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which will be maybe a release date for that game. We don't have one yet. I'm suspecting if they push it, my fantasy critic is absolutely in shambles. But they've been rumored to have it in December, but because of shifting dates, pushing Avowed back, who knows? Maybe they want to get it out before the Black Friday rush. So maybe we'll see Indiana Jones and the Great Circle a little earlier. Maybe we'll see a release date get announced that is earlier than we expect. Who knows? Fingers crossed, I suppose. Indiana Jones is not an IP that I connect with. I've never seen an Indiana Jones movie. The only connection I have to Indiana Jones is having ridden the ride at Disneyland many, many times. I happened to be there at a time when there wasn't a lot of people, and I don't know how or why that is the case. But I would ride the ride with my girlfriend, and then we would just jump the line and go back because there was no line to jump. They just told us to go ahead and just hop over the thing and keep going. So we rode it 4 or 5 times in a row. Great ride. Not so much about the movies, don't know. I'm not super interested in the video game, but Machine Games with Wolfenstein have proven themselves to be awesome, so I'm expecting something great here. Who knows? Can they out Uncharted? We shall see. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This is a dagger for Anthony for his fantasy critic. He picked it up, and it got delayed into 2025, so that will be there. Never picked up the first Kingdom Come Deliverance. It looks like a game that's supremely my shit. Medieval, swinging some swords, got some knights, got some dark grittiness to it. It's like in some way The Witcher reminiscent there, but I've never played the original, so maybe I'll check that out sooner than later. But people are excited about this one, so we'll see what they will do in this game to up their game from number 1. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. This is Life is Strange, I believe. So that is getting something at Opening Night Live. Marvel Rivals, that's 2025, but people have been playing the demo or the beta or alpha or whatever and have liked it quite a bit. It's that Overwatch clone, but with Marvel superheroes. Next is Monster Hunter Wilds. More from Capcom about that game. People are excited. This may be the Monster Hunter that finally gets me into Monster Hunter. It looks really gorgeous. If I can get a crew going, I think I will hop into that. Next, we've got Sid Meier's Civ 7. I think the news recently is that Civ 6, they dropped the launcher for 2K dropped the launcher for Civ, so maybe that's good news moving forward. Fewer launchers from other people, and just put it on Steam or whatever and let it launch natively from Steam. And then a couple other things that are small. So that's what's really out there right now for Opening Night Live. There will be a couple of new things and new games, he said. And I don't really have any conjecture. I'm sure that Nintendo will not be there. I'm sure that if Sony was going to announce something, they'd do it on their own stage. Maybe there'll be something from Concord. I know Concord's coming out the 23rd. And I think this Tuesday, the day of the Opening Night Live, there's Black Myth Wukong is coming out. It's got some controversy going on yet again, whether or not there were guidelines telling reviewers or streamers or both not to discuss politics when they're streaming, not to use profanity, which isn't really that big of the profanity thing's not really that big of a deal. It's a good thing I'm not streaming it because I can't stop using profanity. It's kind of my favorite word is fuck, and I just continue to use it all the time. It punctuates every sentence I say. But also there was like no pushing of feminist agendas or feminism, overt feminism or something like that. So if those bear out to be true, fuck man. But if they don't, then also fuck man, because like why put out that nasty fucking lie rumor into the ether? Who knows if it is a lie? Who knows if it's true? I think Paul Tassi tweeted today that it was true, and I believe him. He does, real media, I suppose, not influencer media. What he says, if he fucks it up and is wrong, impacts his reputation quite a bit, and also Forbes' reputation if they have one to speak of. So who knows if it's real or not? But the game is coming out. Black Myth Wukong is coming out Tuesday. So I don't know what else will be at Opening Night Live. Certainly, again, the Sony stuff, there won't be anything there from them, I'm sure. Xbox is going to have their own thing around Opening Night Live. I think they have their own something. I don't think it's a press conference, but they have something around Gamescom. So they'll be doing their thing. Nintendo won't be there. Who knows? It's just going to be I assume it's going to be a lot of AA. We're going to have some AA stuff there, which is cool, Games are games, and I've played lots of fun games this year that range from single A, indie, all the way up to triple A, quadruple A, fucking whatever Final Fantasy VII Remake is. Rebirth is. I played them both this year, but Rebirth is just off the chain. It's gorgeous. It's unbelievable how it looks, how much shit there is to do in that game. It's overwhelming. So yeah, I'm not sure what else I would expect at Gamescom. I'm not going to be watching it. I won't watch it live. I'll just watch like a condensed recap later. I'm not really expecting anything to blow my socks off. The fall is starting to fall into place with the release dates and games coming out, so I feel like it's already crowded enough that Avowed, for example, pushed out because Dragon Age Inquisition was coming out in the fall, and turns out we got a release date for that this week. It is coming out October 31st, which is Halloween. Wild. I have not seen, or I don't remember games coming out on Halloween that weren't like horror games. So it's cool to see. Not everyone goes out and does trick-or-treating with their kids. Not everyone has kids, or their kids are gone, whatever. I know I will be out doing trick-or-treating, and I believe that's a work day. The 31st is, I believe, a weekday. So it's not, Dragon Age is not likely to be a game that I'll dig into on the first day, but I am very, very excited for that game. And I'll talk more when I get into what I've been playing, why some of the stuff I'm playing now has got me ready for Dragon Age Inquisition in sort of a tone sort of way. I'm not playing other Dragon Age games right now. But other than that, I think maybe we'll see some more about UFO 50, I would hope. I think that's a really small game from, I think it's Derek Yu, the creator of Spelunky. There's just a bunch of creators, I think, who are making small games. So just the vibe reminds me of the Nintendo Championship Edition game. Just a bunch of small things, bite-sized game experiences of the pixelated variety, as far as I understand it, that you can dig into. And maybe compete against each other. Hopefully there are leaderboards. Maybe I'm completely misunderstanding this game, but I would like to know more about that game specifically, so hopefully it's there. I know that Kojima's going to be there. I know Keighley has a relationship with Kojima. Maybe Death Stranding 2, surprise. I know FromSoft has had a relationship with Keighley as well, but I'm not sure if there's anything to announce for FromSoft. They are, I think, staffing up for Armored Core 7 or another Armored Core game, or maybe even just Armored Core DLC, who knows. And they've got the other teams spinning around doing other things, so who knows. I'm excited just for it to be done so that the news can be out and people can digest what comes out of Gamescom. One thing that will come out of Gamescom is video games, and I'm looking forward to playing many video games. It's been 2 weeks since we last did a podcast, so in the interim, I have played quite a few video games. I've been out and about in the end of summer here, leading into the semester, and I've been playing so many things on my Steam Deck, on my Switch, my PS5, my PC, even touched my Xbox. I played some Diablo 4, getting back into it, or at least trying to. It's hard, I don't know why, for me to get into Diablo 4. It doesn't have its hooks in me. For me, the skill tree is just really, it's a lot. I think there's a lot going on the screen, too, in terms of text, and figuring out where the quest log is, what I'm supposed to be doing next. That sitting too far away from the TV, I'm not able to, like, really take it all in a way that makes sense. So I'm just kind of wandering around, getting just absolutely demolished by trash mobs. I ended up dropping the world tier down to just normal because I was at a elevated world tier. I just kept dying to mobs, and it was really annoying. And I'm sure that's my build, my skills. I don't fucking know, but it was happening so much. I was like, I'm spending so much time dying that I'm going to drop it down and see how it goes. And it was better. It was more fun. I'm trying to get a character high enough so that I can experience Vessel of Hatred, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get there. I know that's in 2 months, I think, month and a half. I would like to. I've played every Diablo game. I lost my life to Diablo 2. Diablo 3 was pretty good. Eventually they fixed it. I played it on launch with my mom. We did co-op, and it was a lot of fun. But 4 has just not got its hooks in me, and I don't know what it is, and it makes me a little sad because I used to be a Diablo boy, but this one's not hitting, but I keep trying, and that's on my Xbox. That's really all I play on my Xbox. Otherwise, the last 2 weeks has been reconnecting or connecting over video games with my wife, which is odd because my wife doesn't normally play video games. You know, if you've been listening to this podcast since 2016, the amount of times I've talked about my wife playing video games has been, you can count it on one hand. But we found the thing, and it's puzzle games, and it's great because puzzle games have been amazing for me this year because of their impact on trauma recovery and their impact on someone who's working through therapy, working through trauma. Puzzle games, like, I can't even explain. It's like a warm, cozy, reconfiguring blanket that's just like recontextualizing my brain when I'm going through this shit. And it's great because my wife likes it. We played a lot of Suika. Tons of Suika on Switch. It's becoming one of the most played games on Switch, which is saying something because I put a fuck ton of hours into Tears of the Kingdom. But Suika, something about making the fruit get larger, turn into peaches, plums, oranges, etc. M&M popping in there. Eventually trying to get to Suika, trying to get the melon. And my wife and I both got a melon, both got a Suika this week, and just having a ton of fun playing that. Tonight we were want to play a puzzle game again. I suggested Tetris Effect Connected. We played a couple rounds of Tetris, and I absolutely got my ass handed to me. We played classic mode, and boy, she just Tetris after Tetris after Tetris coming my way. Also this week, speaking of Tetris Effect and Enhance Inc., I played more Humanity, and again had some pretty in-depth therapy this week, and coming home and playing Humanity and getting those humans to flow through to the light and having the dog lead them and solving the puzzle of how to get them through the grid or get them through the water or get them through whatever obstacles in the way has been just therapeutic. Like, therapy is therapeutic, then come home and do some puzzle games is just therapy on top of therapy. It's just great. I can't even explain what it does to my brain. It literally feels like something amazing. So that's been cool. Humanity's interesting. My wife played it with me a little bit before. She would kind of backseat, or she'd play. I would play, and she would tell me kind of things and to do in the game or what to do, or try different solutions to puzzles. But it offers new shit like every single level. And what I mean by that is that it'll give you like a new strategy or a new thing to do. And the next level will take it away and give you something different. And the next level it'll take that away and give you something different. So you're never really doing the same thing every level, at least so far. I'm just in chapter 1. So I did like the prologue chapter and then chapter 1. But it was a little bit frustrating for my wife because she would get one of the mechanics and like, okay, this makes sense. And then it would change. And it would change again. And she was having a hard time adjusting to how much change there was. She wanted to just be one thing and then present you a lot of different puzzles, but let you use the same toolkit to complete the puzzle, and that did not happen here. But I'm enjoying it. I think it does switch a little too much. I wish it would stick a little more, just like my wife was saying. It really does vary pretty dramatically from level to level so far. But I imagine it's all going to coalesce later into all the things all at the same time. There's just so much. I don't think they can just like keep the toolkit and then add one every level, because then it's just unwieldy. At the end of chapter 1, and I'm sure there are more chapters to go. Other than that, there's been a lot of RPGs. I've been playing Link's Awakening with my daughter. Started it just after the pandemic started, the 17th of March, 2020. I've got that save file still, and I got stuck. I got stuck after the chain chomp, the fucking in the swamp, or some part of the trading game. I didn't know where to go, what to do. Came back to it 2 years later with my daughter, and we got stuck, and we're like, all right, let's move on. But we came back to it like a month ago because of Echoes of Wisdom. We were very excited about that, so we both decided, why don't we go back and try Link's Awakening again? And we looked at a guide, and it showed us a hint about what was holding us back, and we blew through it, and we have just been tearing through that game, just tearing. The everything has been such a great pace for us to get through. It's not been too frustrating, not been too easy. Really, for some reason, this Link set of puzzles, this Legend of Zelda set of puzzles, is right for my brain. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but it all makes sense. And Zelda puzzles often are so obtuse for me. I'm glad to have my daughter there because she can see things that I don't, and she suggests things that I don't even see, and they're usually right. To the point where I tell her, God, what would I do without you? I'm so glad you're here playing this game with me, and it just makes her just full of confidence and so happy. So she wants to play it and replay it. When we're done, she's already talking about replaying it as soon as we finish. So maybe we'll do that before Echoes of Wisdom comes out. We'll play it and then play it again. But this game is a fucking masterpiece. The puzzle design, the dungeon design, the way the overworld is created where you just have to backtrack over everything. It's almost adventure game-ish in terms of like, find this weird fucking thing over here on this side of the map, and then it connects to the thing on the other side of the map. Did you know that? Good luck. You got to get the blue rooster to float over the fucking chasm to get the key to the Eagle Tower. Like, what the fuck? How was I supposed to know that? You got to play your Froggy song in front of the whatever the fuck it is, weather vane, to open up you got to push the fucking weather vane to find a staircase to go play your Froggy song in front of old bones of a chicken and then carry it across the map. Like, dude, what the fuck? Without a guide, how the fuck? How? I don't know. So there's some of those things that just don't quite connect, but thank God there's a guide to like get me through those points. Like, we get to those points and we're like, okay, we've beat our head against this for 20 minutes. Let's look at a guide and get a hint. Doesn't tell us what to do. We just look at a hint like, oh, okay, we didn't try that part of the map. We didn't do that thing. Okay, let's go do that and go see if we find something there. And we usually stumble into the thing. But Jesus Christ, the game, the Link's Awakening remake is incredible. It's quickly becoming my favorite Zelda game of those Zeldas. Like, Breath of the Wild is still my favorite Zelda game, but this is one of those, the 2D or the traditional Zelda dungeon type Zelda. It's fantastic. I can't believe it. This week also played Final Fantasy Adventure to beat it for the RPG Backlog podcast. We've been playing through Final Fantasy Adventure and finally beat it. It is a lot of our thoughts are on that podcast, so go listen to that. I won't say much here other than it's an old-ass game from 1991, but it holds up for the most part, and it has some interesting things to offer people who have played a ton of RPGs and are looking for something different from older games. So that was cool. Even though it's called Final Fantasy Adventure, it's actually the first Mana game. There's a Visions of Mana game coming out soon, and as a kid I played Secret of Mana, so it's cool to go back to the Mana tree and see what that's all about. Last 2 weeks I've also played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like I said earlier, boy, it's rich, it's full, it's dense. I can't do everything or else I'll never get out of any area that I'm in. So I've been playing bits and pieces of that. I'm in Junon, just did the whatever the fucking march in front of the president and got a commendation from the president. So doing that. And then speaking of the RPG backlog, we are starting Witcher 2, the Witcher 2 arc. So I've been playing Witcher 2. I'm into chapter 1. There's a lot of really rich writing, lots of deep, thick politics, something that was present in Witcher 3. Playing that first and going back to here, it almost feels like a prequel. I'm getting a lot of the characterization of people like Dandelion and Zoltan, obviously Triss and Geralt, Vernon Roach, these characters that are in 3 that I know very well from that game. I'm learning what happened before. What was this story before? It's great. The gameplay sucks. The gameplay is not great. I know people had that complaint about Witcher 3. I never got it. I definitely see it in Witcher 2. It's not super user-friendly. The meditations, the way you pull up the signs, the combat, it's all really unwieldy. You end up doing these finishers as you're doing combat, and it kind of brings you out of position when you're trying to fight the next person, and it's taken me a while to get used to it. If you're watching the RPG backlog streams over there on Prof and Dev Play Games on YouTube, boy, you'll see like the fucking rust and just the roughness around the edges of the gameplay, partially because of the gameplay, partially because I'm not the best video gamer in the world. Another thing I played in the last 2 weeks was Another Crab's Treasure. It is a hard Souls-like. I found it quite difficult. I ended up changing the options to give myself more health and to give the enemies less health and to increase my parry window, and that's helped. Whatever you got to do, baby mode, I suppose, to get through a game, to play a game, enjoy a game. There's also a mode where you can give your character a gun and just fucking obliterate the boss or whatever. Have not done that. I'm enjoying the challenge. There's still a challenge, even though I've lowered my hits and I've upped the enemy's hits. It's still been a challenge for me, but it's been the exploration's been fun. It's a nice little one of those. I'm playing on Steam Deck. It's cute. It's different, but it's also the same. So that's really cool if you're looking for a Souls-like that. And the last one, my daughter and I went back to Stray. We had probably another hour and a half to finish Stray, and we did that today. Ended up clearing our third playthrough, my third playthrough, her second playthrough of Stray in 4 hours and 45 minutes. I know there's a trophy for getting it done in 2 minutes. I'm sure it's possible, obviously, but good God. So not there yet. So overall, that's what I have been playing. This is a shorter episode because I am by myself, and it must be annoying to hear just one person talk to themselves. But I appreciate it if you've made it all the way here to the end. We will be back next week. I believe Anthony will be back, and we will be doing a wrap-up of Opening Night Live and whatever else happened this week, including there's apparently a Nintendo Direct tomorrow about the museum. 10 minutes of the Nintendo Museum opening in Kyoto. Which is awesome. Would love to go there one day and see it. So, if you like our podcast, please rate it on your podcast service of choice. And come back next week when there will probably be 2 of us talking about video games and everything that happened in the video game industry. All right, folks, thanks so much. See you next week.